All right, guys. Hopefully you can hear me real well here. To start off this video, it's been a few days. It's been 5 days since my last video, so a lot of stuff's happened. We've got SpaceX and the Starship taking off, going to space, coming back down, a heavy booster landing. It's like almost a 20-story building just landing itself in the ocean. Just really, really cool shit. GameStop related Roaring Kitty stuff and a whole bunch more. We'll try and cover it all here, but I wanted to start off with the beginning of Roaring Kitty's live stream from June 7th. For you that don't follow him, if you think there are better people to follow out there, I'm going to say Roaring Kitty isn't one of them. I love the guy. I love what he represented. But anyway, keep in mind, we're 3 minutes and 30 seconds into this already. Just a second. It gets better.
Oh shit. Oh, am I okay? Oh shit. Oh, that was a close call. I'm gonna get my shit set up there. Oh.
Just one more minute. There's a point coming. Trust me.
Help. Send help. Send help. Can y'all hear me right now? I kind of forget how to do this. I kind of tested it. Can you hear me? I can't keep up with this chat. You can hear me? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can't read this chat. The chat. Oh, you can hear me. Oh, excellent. I had to dust this shit off to get this working. Oh, you brought me back to life with the chat. It's like the oh shit. I'm alive. Kinda. Out to me. Can I say that? Can I say it's going up? Is that okay? Look at this. I can't keep that getting over. I think I can say that. And here, just wanted to hop in, see what's popping.
He just got done saying he didn't have a plan for this video and that he just wanted to hop in and see what was popping. Anyway, the rest of the video is similar in nature. It seems to resonate quite well with people. But I don't know if I take my financial advice from this guy. And again, he's supporting GameStop, one of the shittiest business models that probably exists right now. But it's been great for them, right? They were able to basically, I don't know if it was a doubling of shares. They issued 75 million more. So it was great for GameStop, a company that should be dead, but for some reason is not dying. That's kind of like the opposite of what capitalism represents to me. I want companies that suck to die. And I want ones like Tesla that are doing amazing things to thrive. But that's just me. You guys follow who you want to follow. It was entertaining. Anyway. But that's probably about as far as I would take it with that stuff, personally. Unless you like to gamble, in which case that's a different thing than investing. All right, let's proceed ahead here. There's not a lot on the economic calendar right now. As you can see, we have consumer inflation expectations at 3.2%. Previous was 3.3, so that's good. And then we've got optimism on Tuesday, Red Book year over year, and that's pretty much it. It's really light. And then Wednesday is when all the stuff happens. That's when we get CPI and inflation data. So that'll be a fun one to look at. Still slowly seeing containerized freight. I'm just monitoring this metric because I find it fascinating to see how it's climbing back to levels that we saw, post-pandemic when everybody was shopping online. There's a lot of reasons why I think this is happening. I'm still trying to develop my thesis with it, at least as far as what I believe it really to be. So we'll talk more about that later, but I do like to keep an eye on it. Real quick, I'm just going to check the CME to see how we probably haven't seen too much change from the end of last week, just with the lighter economic data. And it's just kind of a mixed bag. Again, some things are good, some things are worse. We are in for September right now, sitting at almost 50% for our chance to lower. So that's actually went down a little bit from 70% the last time I reported last Wednesday. So we're seeing it push out even more, and now we're sub 10% for July. So it looks like higher for longer continues to maintain. I don't think that's the direction it should take, but it seems to be the way we're going, at least for now. I also, real quickly, I just wanted to jump over to Tesla. We'll kind of bounce around a little bit here. So I wanted to point out a number of things in no particular order. I'm just going to dial through them, starting at the top at the most recent thing that I posted to X. It says one of Tesla's largest or long-standing shareholders, and largest actually, Bailey Gifford, who owns 0.56 of all Tesla stock, $3.1 billion, no trivial amount, will vote for the reinstatement of Elon Musk's 2018 compensation package, according to Bloomberg. So I think I feel like, I don't want to say it's safe, but I feel like between Tesla Boomer Mama, Amy, and just a number of other activist Tesla shareholders that retail got the message. And even Elon said that over 90% of retail is looking to vote, or has voted yes. And I believe that number is probably pretty accurate. And then now we're seeing less institutional ownership this time around too. So retail means even more. I think it's dropped by like 20% or something now. It's like sub 50 for institutional ownership. So, and before it was in the 70%. So it's a vast difference between then, and I think it passed by like 73% last time. So we have more retail participation, and it seems like retail is overwhelmingly supporting Elon Musk, as they should, because he's a great fucking person doing really kick-ass shit, and has been for a long time. And that segues into the next part here. Let me just change my imagery a little bit to zoom in so you guys get a better visual quality here. But I want to listen to Elon talking from 21 years ago.
Our eventual great path is to build the successor to Saturn V, build a super heavy lift vehicle that could
really hard to hear.
Be used for setting up a moon base or doing a Mars mission. That would be the holy grail objective. Our eventual great path is.
Yeah. So again, I just wanted to remind people that volume was horrible on that. Sorry. I wanted to remind people that Elon has visions that span decades and centuries. And that's hard for, I think, some people to grasp. But when he's telling you about the Starship that right now is doing amazing shit and will actually make it to where SpaceX in the near future, SpaceX is already looking to do 90% of the payload mass for the entire Earth this year for stuff going to space, which is kind of remarkable. And they're building out Starlink, something that gives internet to the entire world and at the same time makes America and the West more defendable against countries like China and Russia that are threatening us all the time. Just all these things are happening, and this man plotted this out 21 years ago, and he has a vision for all of this stuff. And he keeps telling us what it is and then updating us and providing more clarity as time goes on, and he's just continually right. So I think that has to be recognized, that this man is doing so many great things and changing the world, and he has a vision that spans out decades. I mean, like, it's amazing. It's like you don't get people like this every day. Now, also, I put Steve Urkel, dude, posted about how tight the range is right now for Tesla stock since pretty much the beginning of the year, and how we're looking to break out. There's another longer trend that we're looking to break out of too, but it'll take a while to get to that level. But I think that could happen really quickly if this shareholder vote is yes, like I believe it is going to be, and they're going to reinstate his package. Probably can't do the Texas stuff just based upon how the voting's working. But if they're going to reinstate his package, I think that I think capitalism benefits from that. I think that's a really strong sign that capitalism works and that people still see that it works. And they see that it works through people like Elon Musk and companies like Tesla and SpaceX and Neuralink and the Boring Company and everything else that Elon touches. They can see how we need to embrace capitalism because it makes the world a better place and provides really cool shit. And like my Cybertruck, which I still fucking love, and I have almost 3,000 miles on. All right, I just wanted to show this here. So this is the back wing. This is the back wing, the landing wing of this heavy booster, and it's coming down and just burning up. This is plasma you can see burning off in the bottom of it. And what's amazing about this is literally the day before, with the everyday astronaut, awesome guy, if you like space stuff, was talking to Elon, and he's like, "Yeah, the big thing I worry about is this exact piece right here, but we're testing this material to see how it works, and so we'll know and be able to make it better for next time." So he literally knew this was going to happen, and it was just a test to get more data so that they can fix it for the next launch. Don't bet against somebody who does stuff like this and who can see these things again in advance. And then this is the super heavy landing, burn and soft splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, this might not seem like a big deal, just watching like a little stick landing in the water. But you keep in mind that it's over 210 feet tall, so it's almost a 20-story building. And this has never been done before. And this will take them from going from 90% of the payload mass of the Earth to probably in the next couple of years, 98 to 99% of the payload mass for the entire Earth will go through SpaceX. You better be friends with this company. Literally, the best defense that America has right now against war with other countries is Bitcoin, Tesla, Palantir. It's this kind of stuff that these countries, these communist countries, just can't create. They can't build stuff like this. They can copy it, but they can't build it. It's just the way capitalism works. All right, let me move forward here. And you guys throw out stuff in chat too. I'm trying to look at it, trying to watch it. So feel free to say something if you want. Yeah, Tesla UK, 15,000 miles of free supercharging when you take delivery before 1st of July. They're doing these promotional offers all the time and gathering the data and figuring out what works. And they've got one of the most brilliant marketing companies or marketing businesses out there. They just never really had to use it before. And so I think between this and things like 0.99% interest on Tesla loans for some vehicles in the United States, I mean, a 1% loan, who isn't going to take that up, especially when these cars are cheaper than a lot of ICE cars that are out there and they're rocket ships. So I wanted to point out how nice that is. And then I just wanted to look here at, this is a dually Ram 3500 over on the left, tiny little tires, puny. Anyway, going up against a Cybertruck, they've added a bunch of weight, it looks like, on the back of the Dodge Ram so that they can tow against each other here and see who wins. And notably, I mean, it's going to be no surprise.
Una, dos, tres.
Yeah, that's my truck right there. I love it so much. People ask me about my truck. I fucking love my truck. All right, whole Mars catalog. People don't need to be forced to buy EVs. They will win by being better and lower cost, more bang for your buck. So this is actually something. So I don't. Trump, real quickly, Trump says a lot of things. Okay, if he thinks he's sitting in like a really ICE car room, he's gonna have a different message for those people than what he has for this. But this is actually kind of an interesting message and maybe closer to what he believes. Anyway, so I wanted you to hear it.
I'm a big fan of electric cars. I'm a fan of Elon. I like Elon, but you know, I like him. And I think a lot of people are going to want to buy electric cars. But if you want to buy a different type of car, you have to have a choice.
So that part I actually agree with. Again, I don't agree with like maybe 2/3 of the rest of his messaging, but this part I actually agree with. I think that Elon's even said this a bunch of times. We need to make it to where it's an even playing field, but that also applies to big oil too. I don't think that's something Trump's going to want to touch, but it's something he should, because we should be taking away subsidies from a lot of government things and just letting free markets figure out what's next. I agree with that for the most part. All right, out of the political section of this, if they're actually surveyed, 90%. Okay, this is just the blurb about Elon saying the 90% of retail shareholders who have voted in favor of both resolutions. And that's his approximation of reality. So we'll have to see here how close and true that is. Breaking, Elon says shareholders will get priority to invest in his other companies. Starlink will probably be the first to IPO. I wanted to talk about this because this is really important. What he's saying to people is we will remember. He even says loyalty deserves loyalty. So he's not just saying that shareholders that have been around for a while will have priority, right? They're noting who is saying approve the pay package and who isn't, and who's hostile towards the company and who isn't. And in their verbiage, they don't necessarily dictate exactly how in this message all of these things are improved. But I wouldn't be surprised where if you're on the naughty list, you're not going to be. And if you're on the nice list, you will. So this is a subtle message from Elon indicating to people, be on the good list. It's yet another reason why I think the vote's going to be yes. Tesla Chan, he's great for anything China regarding Tesla. He said with spring update, parallel parking and auto park also works well in China. So again, all these features are getting pushed out, and I think we're going to see full self-driving in China way sooner than people realize. Maybe in the next few months. I think that's it for Tesla. There's so much more to talk about, but I think I'm good there. Let's move on. Let me go back. So I want to hit a little bit. Let's see here. We'll look at the broader markets real quick first. I'm going to pull up a heat map of the stock market. And as you can see today, tech actually did pretty good across the board. It looks like consumer and non-durables got hit, and then a little bit of finance. And Tesla, down 2%. I mean, Tesla, again, trending where it is. You saw that other chart that I showed. I actually think Tesla's doing pretty good right now. I don't think this is a big deal at all. I'm going to jump over to the crypto markets. Looks like they had a sea of red too. Nothing crazy there. And let's look at the S&P. So the S&P actually fared pretty well today. Some stocks did better than others, but I liked some of the strength that we saw. So up 0.26%. Again, we just appear to be establishing higher bases here. And I think there's a strong chance that we're going to continue that path higher. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Again, NASDAQ looks even stronger than what we just looked at for the S&P. You can see how it's already pushing higher, whereas the S&P is still kind of roughly consolidated, but not looking like it's breaking up. This looks like it's breaking up. We had a good day here. So I continue to expect more of that. And again, up about double what the S&P was at 0.39%. Let's look at the Russell. Russell at 0.25%, so it's still sitting underneath this fib. I'd like to see it break out higher. It doesn't bother me at all that it's a laggard. I just want to see these markets continue to go higher. It's the end of the quarter, and Tesla gets sold slower here in Germany. You get 6K of euros. Yeah, Germany's really fallen off the incentive track, too, for EVs, so they switched gears quite a bit. That made a big difference in sales in that region. I haven't seen Cybertruck in person yet. A few Rivians. Cool. Cybertruck's pretty unique. Rivians look almost kind of boring in comparison, at least to me. JJ the Savage, two-wheel drive Dodge might still do well in an even matchup. Yeah, maybe. But it's still it's so hard. The Cybertruck has a low center of gravity, tons of weight. It's 6,800 pounds. It's not tiny. And then it's got four-wheel drive, and it's got really good software that does a great job applying the right amount of pressure to every single wheel in a way that other EVs just don't do. It's so fucking badass, man. So I think it's going to win like all the time. It's just got too many scientific advantages. You know, it's just going to win. All right. Hey, Jesse, can you please look at NewScale Power? Yeah, I'll try and do that. David, can you look at DeFi Technologies from Canada? Yeah, I saw that. I will actually jump into that real quick here. So let me just hop over. I'm going to do a bookmark here for Bitcoin. We'll use that as a segue. And I'll actually get to it in a second. But yeah, we'll talk about DeFi Technologies. They're basically making Bitcoin their reserve currency. And I think that's beautiful. And I think you're going to see a lot more of that. Silas. So Jesse wants to be on the top tier for Starlink and SpaceX IPOs. Fuck yeah, I do. Fuck yeah. Yes. Yes to that many times over. I would like to be at the top of the list. Unfortunately, I've got a bunch of options, so I don't really count, at least for this list. In the future, I'm hoping to have a lot of the stock, and I'll definitely vote the right way. All right. Tyler H., good time to be holding Robinhood. Yeah, I saw that it was up, I think, 4.5% earlier. That's pretty great. All right, so let me zoom in here. We're going to jump into some Bitcoin. I actually maybe should fire up a Bitcoin chart. So Bitcoin, all right today, down 0.45%, or actually, I guess, yeah, that's today, but I'm looking at the weekly in this image. But if you look, really, we're just consolidating still in a beautiful range. The weeks all look very strong, and we're above all of this. It looks great. It looks really strong. So I'm loving the look of Bitcoin. Real quick though, you can see other elements of it. Looks like MicroStrategy did okay. It was up 0.23%, so it didn't do too much. But Mara up 1% in a little bit after hours. And then CleanSpark up 0.77 and then 0.57. So you can see a little bit of rebounding in these where they're actually outperforming a little bit against Bitcoin. And I think Cypher actually did really well today. Yeah, 3.72% and then 1.32% after hours. So Cypher is getting a bounce. And again, it's a smaller cap, so it's nice to see it outperforming. And we want to see that. That's the kind of stuff we want to see. Let's look real quickly at the other miners. I'm just going to use this. Let me see. No, that's not really the view I wanted. Skip it. That's all right. I'll show you. It works better on mobile. But yeah, so miners outperformed. That's the thing I wanted to get across is they outperformed Bitcoin, and that's great. We want to see that. Let's look at our bubbles here for the daily view. Again, we're just kind of in a grinding pattern. I know people get super impatient around here. Altcoins have gotten hit pretty hard, and they might be worried about what's coming next. But if we look at history, and I'll probably do a good job, I'll try and do a good job on Thursday with another chart, just showing Bitcoin and its resilience and what happens in the days ahead, because it's going to go up. I mean, don't care about the next day or week. Think in months. Thinking quarters, thinking, well, I mean, not years right now because we only have a little over a year and a half at max probably for this next one, unless you believe that the cycle will persist, and which it might, but it will. Things always ebb and flow. So I'm not of that camp. I think we'll still get a retrace and I'll get lighter on Bitcoin, but just be patient. That's what I'm trying to say. Be patient. It's the right way to play this. If you're not patient, you end up suffering. And definitely don't listen to people like this guy that Thomas from Apollo posted that says, I don't understand Bitcoin, but you're wrong about it. I know a lot of people like that. Or like this guy from China. This is an oldie but a goodie.
If
In this one, he's going to tell us we're all going to die because of Bitcoin.
Bitcoin will become the ultimate type of a form of the currency been adopted by human society, I can tell exactly what's going to happen as the worst scenario or the must scenario. We're all going to die. This is not a joke. Well,
we're all going to die. This is not a joke. So watch out, guys. If Bitcoin happens, we're all going to die. It's not a joke. So just remember that. And buy the fucking dip whenever you get one. You don't have a lot of time right now. It's going to go up soon. All right, Vivek, he posted Bitcoin balance on exchanges just hit all-time lows. Supply shock incoming. We just have massive amounts of Bitcoin getting bought up by institutions. We have over 1 million Bitcoin right now that have been swallowed up by ETFs around the world. And we're seeing the lowest amount of Bitcoin that are available. We're seeing miner balances just drift away. Everything is lining up for a massive squeeze. So be fucking patient. Okay? ¿Qué pasa? All right. Let me see here. Hey Jesse, hope you're doing well. I'm doing really good, man. I'm kind of having fun taking some time off and focusing on just, life and living. Sealess, is the Cybertruck data network still cellular? Is it backed up by Starlink? I think it can be. I don't know much more than that. I know that, I'm getting a $2,500 voucher. I might have mentioned this in another one. So I'm hoping to, in the next couple of months, get the home backup built up into my house too. So I'm very excited about that. And then get my wrap here in about a week. So I'll show pictures of that stuff when I get it. I'm very excited about it. All right, Mike Alfred. I like this guy. He's got a lot of good little quips and just like short takes on Bitcoin that are really just smart. And in here he posted this bullish consolidation is setting up for the next all-time high test. There's no other path to greatness. Bitcoin must walk through fire. And all he's saying is kind of what I reiterated a second ago. You got to be patient with Bitcoin. It's going to go up. I wish I could transfer my confidence to people on my investment style. I wish that was just easily done. It's hard though. You can't get people to understand the knowledge and the things that you know from experience. It's not easy to convey, and it's even harder for a lot of other people to absorb. But yeah, it's all going to be good, and that's why I'm not actually really focused on making YouTube videos right now. I'm just trying to focus on the big picture. I'm going to make shit tons of money in the next year. I know that, and I know it's probably coming from Tesla and Bitcoin and maybe some other things. But I'm going to make so much fucking money off of it. I'm not really worried about it. And so I just don't stress too much. Don't look at daily price action all the time. It'll drive you fucking nuts, and it's not the best way to invest, trust me. I've learned that the hard way. And I've watched other people learn it much harder than I have. I've made money, so that makes me happy. All right, Michael Saylor, again, just 34 spot Bitcoin ETFs hold over 1 million Bitcoin. Such a big deal. And then we've got a Canadian public company, Defi Technologies, that somebody was mentioning, I think David or somebody a second ago was talking about. They're making Bitcoin their primary treasury asset. With a name like Defi Technologies, I feel like you're required to do that. And it says it just bought 110 BTC. I love that. I do want to look at, let's see if we can pull this company up. Let's see if I can find DeFi Technologies. Does anybody know the ticker to this one? I am super curious. It's got to be right here. This has got to be it. All right. Yeah, okay. That's doing all right. So this is the lesson that's being learned right now. This is the lesson learned that if you say your Bitcoin, then you can go from, in October of 2023, 10 cents to $1.60 or 16x in a period of 6 months. So do you think other companies are going to do that? I'm going to say they are. Just saying. This is how game theory works. This is how this stuff works, guys. Oh, if you could like, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you. It does take some effort to do this. Lets me know that people want me to do it. Bitcoin Magazine. So this is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talking about how he's going to be in the world's biggest Bitcoin conference next month. So you're going to have a fight between him and Trump in trying to be Bitcoin and crypto friendly. I think that's only going to benefit these markets, especially with people understanding what Bitcoin are. And I think that Republicans have the ability, just the way their mindset works, to really be able to understand Bitcoin a little bit easier, just with capitalism and freedom and a lot of the things that they portray as values. I think it's easier for large government. We don't like that. They get the narratives, right? They lean against them. And so I think that they're really going to adopt here in the future, and having these candidates fight over it is only going to make that better. One of my friends on here too, he's from United Arab Emirates. I should have actually bookmarked it. I didn't. He talks about he got a Tesla Cybertruck imported into the country, and this dude, he looks like this, like just super Muslim, Arabic nation kind of guy, hanging with a bunch of other guys, taking photos in like marble fucking rooms with big pillars in them. And he is so stoked right now about his Cybertruck. His entire feed is like, look at my Cybertruck this, look at my Cybertruck that. And I just think that that's amazing because he lives such a different life than I live. And just from what he says and does and, how their society functions. And yet we still have this common love for this thing, this engineering marvel. I just think that that's cool. Sorry, I just got on that rant, but this reminded me of it. The Prince of Saudi Arabia, their petro deal with the U.S. has finally come to an end. So they no longer have to pay in U.S. dollars if they don't want to. They could use something else. I do think if they are Mr. 100, it would be very smart of them to be using Bitcoin and pushing Bitcoin. All right, let me see what else we got here. I put looks like someone is opening the floodgates for people to move money out of China. So I just wanted to post this. It says, exclusive, the third largest offshore exchange, Bybit, suddenly opened up registration and authentication for users in China. This is a big deal. This is a lot. There's a lot of capital that wants to fly out of China and there's a door right now through this. It says Bybit, and it sounds like Binance is still working pretty good in China too, with over 900,000 customers. Last I had read, but it says Bybit has long strictly prohibited the registration and use of all Chinese users. The management team has been very cautious about this, but now they're not being. That's interesting. There's some kind of signal there. We need to figure out what it is. All right, showed you that one. Titan of Crypto. I like him for some of his charts that he puts up. It just gives you a better visual. Again, there's a bunch of different ways to look at Bitcoin and the bands that it goes in cycle to cycle. This is Power Law Corridor. Power Law is all the rage this cycle. Before it was Plan B, and there's been something. There's always something, okay? But this just does a good job of showing this lower consolidation range, and you can see it even if you don't understand math really well, you can look at this and visualize and kind of see the ranges that it's in, right? For consolidation periods, breakouts, breakouts. You can see how these differ, except when the Fed fucked with things right over here and kept us from having another peak because they raised at the most aggressive rates. But this is a great chart, and it shows a top range that is close to what I believe mine is too, in the 300,000 range or near it. And so I just think that this is a really good one to look at. Here, let me give you a better view. Sorry, I should have done that. I got to get better at this, man. Such an amateur. Anyway, but we're in this consolidation range. We're getting ready for that second half of the cycle, of the up cycle. We've already been in it for a while. We're about 45% in right now, but it's this last part that can be really violent and give us, 60% of the gains for the cycle. So it's very exciting. Titan does great work. Follow him if you're not. Another one here. It says Paraguay to sell excess hydro energy to Bitcoin miners as part of its new economic development strategy. Paraguay's Itaipu hydropower station is one of the world's biggest, yet only 20% of generated power is used. They're only using 20% of the generated power. So now miners are getting these. And this is going to be fucking amazing. This is going to happen all over the world, guys and gals. All over the world. You must know that. All right. When you get into the new ones, can you look at DNA? Yes, I will. Mr. Castellano, I just sent you the best Cybertruck rap on X. Oh, sweet. I'll check it out, man. C-list. We don't want BTC to climb too high, too fast, and or the regulators higher will return. They don't have any choice anymore. It's all over for them. It's all over for them because if Trump wins, he's not going to be having the same people in. I can tell you that. And the numbers tell me he's going to. I've been right about this for like 25 years. Everybody, all of them have been the ones that I thought were going to win. Last time I thought it was Biden. He was in. Before that, I thought it was Trump. And he was in too. All right, let me see here. Satoshis are all that really exist. Bitcoins are just a specific number. Yeah, it's just another way to slice the pie, right? C-list, that's all it is. Satoshis are the lowest increment, so that is the real one. Yep, you're right. Chris Cashman, being patient is my biggest challenge. I get addicted to... You get addicted... Yeah, man, just looking at shit daily will fuck with your head. It'll make you overtrade. I think I did some of that this last year, just from doing so well with, again, Tesla, Meta, Square, what was it, Matterport, Hood. There's a bunch of them. Palantir, I made 600,000. There's a bunch of them where I made just tons of money off of option trades. And then you get kind of stuck in that mindset. Okay, what's the next one? What's the next one? And I think the smart thing would have been, should there be a next one? And I think at the time I was like, oh, well, these are pretty good bets. And honestly, they still could come out okay. But there's just leverage of any kind should be applied at the right time. And you should work really hard to understand when that is. And because if you make mistakes 6 months or a year, that's a long time. And for people that mess with the short shit, they can get fucked overnight. 0-day trading options and shit like that. It's just fucking garbage. So the only way I do options is for years. If I can get myself 2 or 2.5 years on something I believe is going to turn around in 6 months to a year, then that gives me plenty of time for it to play out. And then the other math applies. And I think I'm still going to do good on a bunch of mine, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, keep going. All right. Nearly $500 million in flow into Bitcoin ETFs on Wednesday, with Fidelity taking in 221 million, and even GBTC adding 15. I just think that these numbers are amazing. God, people just don't know. They don't know. They don't understand what's happening. There are two type of hodlers. There's I'm going to be rich, GameStop, and there's Bitcoin as generational wealth. I'm going with the bottom one personally myself. GameStop is fun if you like gambling. Sean Buckley, great guy. You should follow him. There's now 12 billion in Bitcoin short liquidations between 71 and 75K. Let's go hunting and unleash the dogs. So that what we're saying here is that we're going to wipe out 12 billion people and turn them into buyers when we get to 75K. And that's just such a massive number. So the best I can represent this is a massive powder keg. We have a massive powder keg in front of us, and we're sitting right on top of that, very secure and ready for launch. And every day that goes by that Bitcoin doesn't launch, the more violent it will be. I think that 92 would not be a crazy number. I think maybe even into the 100 plus range and then back to 92 as support could happen, and it's going to explode. It's going to explode, and you're going to make a lot of money if you're on the right side of that. And if you're not, if you're 12 billion short, well, kiss that fucking money goodbye. Just in, 6 billion in financial services company Unchained releases new Bitcoin commercial. Sleep soundly on the Bitcoin standard. Oh, I've already seen this one. I must have gotten cycled through this. All right, we're done. We're done with our slide deck here for this part. There might be one other thing I want to show you real quick. Let me go down a little further. Oh, my throat is killing me. Bookmarks. Here we go. All right. What was I looking for? China. Let me see. PayPal. Let's go to PayPal real quick. All right. So I still love Alex Chris. My timing might have sucked with PayPal for the January 2025s. I mean, it did suck. But those could still end up doing all right. I haven't even looked today. Maybe I'll pull up in a second here and see how I did. I'll see where I am with my PayPal January 2025 so I can tell you, maybe show you. But I think this company's going to do well. This is Alex Chris today. Somebody said Chris Paviz said, "We're long PayPal, a small position. I'm seriously reconsidering that decision after realizing that the OG of electronic payments, which helped facilitate the rise of e-commerce through eBay, still requires their customers to print mail or fax form to dispute a charge. That is fucking ridiculous." And Alex Chris responded with, "You're absolutely right. It's unacceptable. We're fixing this across the platform." I just wanted to say, like, this man is incredibly attentive and he's doing all the right shit. And irregardless of our ability to pick the appropriate timing of how a company is going to do and when it's going to recover financially for the stock, this is a great company in my opinion. And I think it's still going to do really well. And I would rather own this over some stupid GameStop shit, if I'm being honest. And right now, it looks like I'm at about. I'll show this in another screen. I can't transfer it over without showing my account number, and I try and avoid that. But I'm down all in all on my PayPal one by about 54% for my PayPal positioning, because my PayPal January 2026s are actually positive by 7.4%. So I'm actually, that's offsetting some of my losses in the other one. So yeah, it's not great. I'm still down like fucking over half, right? But it's recoverable, and I think that I could still end up making money from this. And PayPal is a great company. Again, I would also recommend Finfluential on X. I would look at this, guys. It's well worth watching. And he posts great stuff. He's got everything PayPal. But it says Citigroup just increased PayPal's price target to $81 from $79, and they keep a buy rating. Here's every analyst price target. So this is amazing. So yeah, let's click on it. So it shows, look at these. Strong buy, $80. From hold to a strong buy, from $68 to $90, right? these guys right down here in May 1st, from $70 to $77. David Toget from May 1st, $60 to $65. Another one, UBS maintains holds from $63 to $71. BMO Capital, $64 to $65. RBC, $74 to $84. TD Cowen, $58 to $68. Do you see a pattern here? Do you see a pattern here? It is that they are revising higher. Everybody, they're changing ratings or they're maintaining them, but they're revising price. And as the price goes up, they'll get even more fucking bullish on this. They'll get more fucking bullish on it. So it's going to be one of those things where you need to be paying attention to this. There's very strong signal here that you can make a bunch of money off of PayPal. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Again, even rumors right now that, you know, billionaires are looking to acquire PayPal with, I mean, some good argument here. It's probably not true, but there's some argument here that Bill Ackman could be getting ready to buy PayPal, and that would be a good thing. And again, my idol from an investment standpoint, Paul Tudor Jones. You should look that up on YouTube, and you can watch a video of him trading in the pits back in the 80s. He was a badass. This guy was a badass. He's a billionaire that's a trader, and that is a rare fucking combination. A lot of traders are not that fucking good at what they do, especially over decades. This man is. So he's somebody you want to listen to. And again, he's positive about it. So I don't know. There's so many, there's so many price targets getting raised. The features are great. They're getting better all the time. You've got a CEO who obviously wants to make things better. There's just a lot. There's a lot going on with this company, and the advertising piece is going to kick in. It's going to kick in pretty hard in the future. So I think you're going to see a lot of upside in this over a short period of time. And maybe that saves my ass a little bit with my 2025s. We'll find out. That's what I'm rooting for. All right, let's go back. Real quickly, let me see. Do I have anything to shit on China? Oh, yeah, I do. Sweet. Okay, so I just wanted to point out China likes to paint an image of the West being conquerors, right? Basically, you know, just invading and taking and doing all this stuff because that's what happened a very long fucking time ago. But I want to point out here that Beijing is engaged in disputes with 15 different nations over land and sea borders right now. And this image represents a bunch of them. These are countries like the Philippines, Vietnam, Japan, Nepal, Bhutan, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Laos. And I mean, China has literally updated their maps recently to include parts of Russia. So even the people that are supposed to be their friends, they're like, no, that's really ours. We went back and we looked at some shit. And then again, others here, South Korea, North Korea, Mongolia, Myanmar, Singapore, Brunei. That's all the people they have disputes with. So who's the real expansionist fucking power? Tell me that. Who's the conqueror here? The people that have literally militarized the South China Sea while saying, no, we're not going to do that. Are they maybe the expansionist power? The ones that talks actively about invading their neighbor, Taiwan, who did nothing outside of lose the last war, and they just don't like them being there, so they want to take them out. Anyway, CCP bad. That's my message. All right, let me see here. Update on Matterport, please. I exited that trade a long time ago, man. I was very public about it. I posted it in, I think, online and several videos about it. So I don't follow it anymore. If there's a reason to follow it, you guys let me know. But for me, it was just a trade. I wasn't focused on much more. This is just, an article from Michael Pettis. I think I talked about this one last one. We'll skip it. All right, so I'm going to jump over. Here, and we'll start looking at some of the stocks that you guys have requested. And then we'll go from there here. Let me see. Good afternoon. Welcome to New Trading Week. I think the title of the video reflects... Yeah, I did update that. Thank you. How's the Cybertruck? Great. Let me see. All right, here we go. Dubai's recent clouds. Okay. Jason, IDCC, please. IDCC. Let me pull that one up. Let's take a look here. make a copy. All right, 1 second. Put this up here. Enter Digital Incorporated. Hopefully that's it. Banana 3 is going bonkers on MBLY. What are your thoughts? I haven't looked at it. What's he going bonkers about? Can you give me more detail? All right. All right, so this one's already been running. Let's see. What is it? Let me go back further. Just got to see. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a nice just continued process higher. What is this company? 2.9 billion. All right, let's look at them over here. IDCC. Oh, still seeing a revenue boost. What's the yearly look like? It's not super high compared to 2012, 2016. Been buying back shares. Operating expenses jumped recently. Their cash and bonds look good, and debt went down recently. I don't know what that's about. Net income, it appears to be cyclical. When I'm looking at years here, like there's like a half a decade trend of up and down. That's weird, actually. So this company's valued at a forward PE of 34.33. And so the current PE is much lower, but the forward is actually probably, so we're seeing a little bit of slowing. But it's not a horrible PE depending upon what sector it's in. InterDigital specializes in essentials for mobile and video technologies that power devices and network and services globally, focusing on solving significant technical challenges to enhance broadband networks, video delivery, and multimedia experiences. I wish sometimes they'd make these things shorter. Established in 1972. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious, like, is there anything you find interesting about it? That it looks good. It looks good here as far as the growth. The chart has done really well. Since the dot-com bubble, though, at the peak of it, it was 83. And then down at the trough, it was like 6. So it got hit pretty hard. And it went up to that 80s level a few times, right? And then crashed back down. But yeah, looks like it's going. It looks like it's more risk on, and that it likes it in the market like we're seeing right now, which I think is expanding, and it seems to have a pretty good pulse. Maybe it's a canary in the gold mine, just for letting us know what path other things are getting ready to take. All right, let me see here. I'm gonna probably move on unless you have more questions about that. Let me see. Anyone else? Large leverage shorts on BTC. I was thinking that could be the hedgies. Yeah, maybe. It's going to blow up, though, eventually. Hey, Jesse, interested in knowing what's your take on ArcG? Yeah, let's look. I haven't even seen what this has done recently. Let me go back one. Nope, not there. Got to remember where these buttons are, man. I don't use this enough anymore. Oh, there we go. All right, ArcG. It looks like, I don't know, about 0.59% today. It's still incredibly depressed, but it's showing some resilience. And if you look, it's hard to see on the monthly candle because it looks kind of weird, but if you look at the weekly, you can see how this was definitely a resistance zone. Tried to get above it, couldn't. Broke above it, found support, broke beneath it, got above it, found support, appear to be taking off, in my opinion. So this thing, either way, this is a bottoming pattern, and we are seeing, like, again, a hot, really low RSI in the weekly, little bit higher, little bit higher, little bit higher. So the trend is divergence towards the upside. In some cases going back years, in others, quarters. So, but there's a lot of bullish, it wants to turn around. All right, let me see what else we got here. Celsius, please. Yeah, I heard that stock was kind of bouncing around. Let me see here. What is my button for this? F5? I can't even remember. CLH. All right, let me see here. Got a few of these for some reason. I don't know, man. This could be a support zone. It's hard to know. This could be a double top. This looks like, honestly, and we're weak. What are we even at right here? Let me zoom in more on this. So I don't love, like, we're above this fib right now. We're above the 200 or the 200 moving average on the daily time frame. And we had what looks like a double top over here. Like if you flip this chart around on Celsius, let me do this, invert scale. Wouldn't you be excited to buy a stock that looked like this? You'd be like, oh, dude, that's a double bottom. We're getting ready to break out, right? That's what you would say. So if you would say that, then doesn't it make sense that this is probably topped and that we're looking to break down and maybe at least test the, upper 50s? If not, honestly down to like the low 50s over here near the fib, the golden retracement zone. We could at least try and do that. I don't know the fundamentals behind what else is happening, but I mean, we could test down into the 50s. So I'd be aware of that. Maybe look for an ultimate bottom at 54 or down like 51 right here where we have really strong volume. This would honestly, 52 range would be a really strong base per Celsius. I don't know much more than that. Let me know if there's anything else to talk about. Let me see. Hey, Jesse, what's your strike price and price targets for Square? I don't actually think I have. I don't know. I might have some Square. Let me see. I don't even have Square options anymore. I just liquidated the last like $2,000 that I had. So I don't even have any. I might look at buying Square though. The stock has been beat up a lot. Let me look here. Nope, not over there. Over here. So just looking at the stock over here, and let me change the view because it looks a little messy. Let me do this. I'll take these off too. So if we go back, this is multiple. It's kind of hard to see here on the weekly. Let me just go to the monthly. That'll be cleaner. Okay, so on the monthly chart, you can see that we're above peak volume going all the way back to 2018. So that is a very long fucking time for a trend. 6 years is a long time, right? And if we look here, you can see how this is the bulk of the volume, right? So the fact that we're kind of finding a base here, and I would like to get above this first fib at the .286, or the I think so, .236. The 65 range, I'd like to get above that and break above it and start trending up here. But this is probably a good buy zone. I don't know what options look like right now. Sorry. All right. Let me see what else we got here. LMFA, please, seems to be breaking out. I don't know who that is. Let me take a look, though. Oh, you know what? I'll need to make a copy. I'm pretty sure I don't have this. Make a copy. I've got to get more organized with this anyway. All this stuff. I want to save my bookmarks better as I'm going. I don't pay enough attention to them. And then it slows things down. Can't have that. Can you look at XMTR? If I get that far, I will. I know I've got some backlog with you guys. I do apologize. I'll get better. All right. Just looking here, we have tons of volume. I actually need to change. Let me fix something real quick. This visible range volume profile, it's over on the right-hand side. It's these yellow and blue bars. They're great. They're great, but you want to make sure that you get them right. So you want to give them enough space to run so that they're nice, a little more defined. That's not even enough. Let me crank that more. Let's just fucking 10,000. Whatever. It still won't work. This is just too much. It's still just too much. Let me drop it to the weekly. Maybe I can do better. Yeah, this is really... There's just such a divergence here from the price. It fucks up these charts. Let me see. Am I on log? Yeah, that's really probably the only way to look at it. Because if you look at this without log, you can see the divergence here and why that fucks up that chart on the right, the visible range volume profile, is because look at the difference from 3,100 to 543. This is crazy. So this company has changed a lot in size. A lot. Which means I have to almost just get rid of this previous range. I almost need to not include that at all. And just do something like this. Because there's just too much garbage. But it does look like... Yeah, I would agree. It looks like a breakout zone. I'd have to run... like a trend-based fib or something. Let me see here. Let's just say from March of 2020 up here down to here. Yeah, I could see that going higher. I could see it testing up to the .618 at least, right, where we were at before here, before maybe finding resistance, or even up here at the 200 at 14. But it does seem like it's got a magnet to $9. All right. Still looking through here. Meta chart. I haven't looked at Meta in ages. Let's do that. Meta looks good. Again, perfect bounce off the fib. Didn't even get to the other previous peak in price. And grinded real nicely here. Established all this volume underneath of it, and now it's going up, and I think it's headed towards 587. Such a great stock. It's definitely been a steady Eddie, man. I wish I would have kept. So I sold out of the bulk of mine to give you some perspective. I made like 250 to 300. I don't know. I didn't document it well. It's probably somewhere. Volume is low. Is that better? But I made money from down here in the 88 range with Meta all the way up to around here in the 170s. But I bailed out. But they were options, so I made tons of fucking money. But look at how I should have just bought the stock too. I could have just wrote all this up. Hindsight is always 20/20. That is for sure. All right, let me see what else. Somebody said DLO. DLO's been tanking. Let's look at it. I haven't really looked in a while. Let me do this too. I'll get the actual chart. Or maybe I did. I think I looked at this earlier. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. You can see it's been tanking because it's actually lower than it was. It looks like it came back a little bit today, though. But I don't know where the floor is. It's still trying to establish it. But it did come back actually pretty well today. But yeah, from over here, it absolutely fucking rocked, right? From where it was in April, when it was in the 16s, to the 7s right now. Yeah, it's a pretty big drop. And I did buy some the other day. I don't know if I'm going to buy more. I might dabble. But we'll see. This is like several percent of my portfolio. It's not a big deal to me. But I do like the setup, though. If this is really the bottom, and the thing I don't like is that we've established a lower low, right? So I don't know if there's something going on here in Latin America or Africa or these other places that they're located where the business is going to get really poor and people know something about it that I don't know. There could be something like that with this company. I'm not sure. It definitely had the pants fall out from underneath of it. So if you figure out why that is, please let me know. I just don't like Meta. I don't think the world needs it. That's why I couldn't own it. That's why I took my profit on my options and bailed. I did that for Tesla too, but then I bought the stock, right? But I didn't do that same thing with Meta because I didn't want to support the company. I used it as an opportunity to get money to be able to buy things that I think will make the world better. So that's why I can't judge people too harshly with GameStop. If you're finding ways to make money and you can do it consistently, again, I don't think traders, the more you trade, the worse I think most people do. But there are some that are gifted, 99% are not. And so I don't love the trading thing, but if you can make money off of GameStop or some shit like that, you found some pattern, and then you can take that money and do something good with it, and then at the same time teach some people a lesson about how to manage their finances better, then so be it. Everybody has to learn somewhere. I definitely fell for my share of scams and stupid shit when I started. I think it's just a learning mechanism. If you can get people to continue through that step of not being fucking stupid, then life gets better. Flux broke below its triple bottom. It's highly undervalued or not a buy. Let's look at Flux too. Again, another one that is like, I don't even know if this is a percent of my portfolio right now, so it's not a lot for me. And it has broken underneath the fib again, and theoretically, it should find support. It's up 2.5% today. It got up near the fib. Let me just zoom up so you can see it better. So if we look here, you can see where it started to bounce and get up near the fib. It's actually literally just closed right underneath of it. Look at that. And at the same time, we've got divergence down here. We've hit a bottom for a while, I would say. If we look at the weekly here too, let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah, it's still good. We broke down underneath it here, but this is still probably comparable to this right here, and then this is even lower, and this is even lower for the RSI. So we've still got, I think we have a chance for divergence to the upside, but I don't know. It's less than 1% of my portfolio. I really don't care what happens over the short term with this company. I'm just going to try and track it to see whether or not I want to add more to it in the future. That is my game plan for that one. All right, let me see here. Oh shit, I might have had some skip by. But SMR. Yeah, we can do that. I think I have that one. Sounds familiar. There we go. All right. This one actually looks really good. So new scale power. It's been trending off of this. It looks like almost it's turning into like a little weird cup and a handle. We'll see if it can break higher. But oh, I think I just moved it. Gonna have to fix that. But this is interesting. If it can stay above this peak volume right here, then we could see if it can build a base right through here. We could see this thing going higher and testing up against the fib, the .618, the golden retracement zone. So it'll be interesting to see. And what is this? This is a $2 billion cap. I think we looked at it before. What was that one again? SMR. I want to look at their financials again on this one. I've done the GameStop gamble twice, says Sealess. Made 20K, lost 24,000. Was a pig. Yeah, everybody turns into a pig. That's the problem. When you just watch things just going up and up and up and up, it's like it's hard not to get drawn in. Just got here. Did you cover CLSK or Mara? I did briefly. I just said that miners outperformed today. Cypher actually did better than both of those. They were up like 3.5% or almost 5%, I think, including after hours. So they outperformed Bitcoin. I like seeing that. I like seeing miners doing better and being more resilient. It's usually a precursor of what's to come because they usually lead from my experience, at least most of the time. Christopher, hey boss, quick question. Did I just hear you sold all of your Tesla call options and not just buy? No. That was a long time ago. No, I did that the first round in 2023, actually the end of 2022, when everybody was shitting on Tesla, when it was at its lowest of lows for the last several years. I bought tons of Tesla calls, right? So in the end of 2022, I bought tons of Tesla calls when everybody was screaming that Tesla was the most horrible company on earth, and even the bullish of bulls were pissed that Elon bought X. So over here, I was buying calls like crazy, right? I ended up selling a bunch of them. I sold them around here, and then I bought stock, and then again I started to play around with options again. Sold out of it somewhere like up here, and so I started getting stock, and then I switched that into options as we grinded down through here. And then the options I ended up selling right around here in this range. And then I ended up buying on the way down. That's what I've been doing. So that's my story with Tesla. And now I'm heavy into options and have been since like this range right in here in the 150s and 160s. I got really heavy into options. I think I have $500,000 roughly right now in that. Thursday's going to be interesting, man. We got the vote, so it's gotta go yes. It's got to go yes. If it doesn't, it sucks for capitalism, and I think it'll turn even more people towards Trump. You can't own a business and be pro-Trump or pro Biden right now. You just can't. It just doesn't work. It's like your livelihood is in jeopardy. Anyway, let me look here. When you get new ones, can you look at DNA? I've just dropped crazy low. DNA. Yeah, sure, why not? And you know what? We should look at, we skipped Hood too. Let's actually cover some of these other stocks that are doing really great. Yeah, we need to go back. So first off, I'm going to go to PayPal. So here's what I'm loving about PayPal. I'm just going to click out of this shit. Go over here. Ignore this. I need to update my chart. So again, this was a previous resistance zone, very hard against it, kind of left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and breakout zone, which sends us up into the 80s, right? That's where a lot of our targets are, and we'll chase those. All these, I showed you guys, all these people are revising estimates higher. That's just going to keep happening. That's very important to understand that, and this price is going to go with it. But look at this. So we had this previous resistance that went all the way back to April of 2023. So this was like 6 or 15 months worth of shit. And we've broken above it and established support on the weekly time frame. You can see it here very nicely, hitting that and bouncing really hard today. So PayPal looks very strong, only down 0.31% on the day. I just love this. I love this price action. If we close the week this way, this would look very bullish. It would look very bullish. It would look like we're basically bullishly engulfing this previous range here and getting back to levels we haven't seen in a long time. And it's just a really promising thing where maybe we get, again, we've already had one higher high. Let's hit another one and then another one right over here. That would be super fucking bullish. That's when momentum shifts occur. When momentum shifts occur, you make money. Now, Hood is just, I've been saying this for a while. I don't own enough of it, but it's going to 30 like a lightning rod. So like a lightning rod going to like the tallest thing in the area, Hood is going to 30, and I believe that strongly. It sucked up a ton of narrative from companies like SoFi. Looks really good, in my opinion. And then SoFi, I do think that they're still finding support. So again, this might just be grinding here, but the thing I love about this, if I zoom in, is that previous resistance for this entire time frame turned into support here, all throughout here. And this is looking at the weekly view, all through here, all through here, all through here. And now we look like we're going to try and launch above the .5. If we can get above peak volumes for the entire life of the company here at the 728 range, I think it's short order to, almost $8. And then we're in breakout zones. Then we're looking at multi-year breakout zones that go back to October of 21. That is when shit gets fun. So even though I think the narrative is definitely with Hood and that over the short term it's going to do the best, I think SoFi is a sleeper that it will catch up. And again, Square, I think I already kind of covered this one. It looks like a beautiful setup for this thing to go higher. Let's look at Palantir. I think Palantir retraced a little bit today, but it looks like it started climbing higher again. A lot of good news behind Palantir. It just seems to be doing well. Already looked at RG. Let's go. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Yeah. No, I think the rest are good. I didn't go too in depth with, let me see, did I look very closely at CleanSpark? Not really. From a technical standpoint, this chart still looks weak on CleanSpark. I mean, I shouldn't say weak, but it needs to get above this peak volume over here, around the 16 range. It's got to get above that, or even like, up to 17. It needs to get above that, really above this fib, the .618, for me to like it. So from a technical standpoint, it could grind for a while. I think like smaller miners are doing better and ones that have an AI narrative. We'll see how long that lasts. 11% of ARKG is Tesla, right? No, I don't think so for ARKG. That's probably ARKK. I don't know if anybody checks the ETF holdings. I don't think ARKG has that high of a percentage. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. All right, let me see here. BITF for the win. Yeah, I know they had their poison pill thing. I don't know much more about that right now. I haven't followed it too closely, honestly. So that way they can't have a hostile takeover. I don't know if that would help the stock, though. The poison pill, I think, if anything, it might give them a top here on the .5 for a while. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you have any thoughts on that one. C-list Chris, at this moment of investing, extended time periods, tempering our instincts over extended time periods. At most times, good investing is really about tempering our instinct over extended time periods. Yeah, honestly, just being conservative, knowing what you own, and have an idea of what's going to happen in the world around you in the years ahead, and then be patient. That's it, guys. That's fucking investing. So, yeah, really good point. Just fucking be patient. Like, own the right shit, know what's coming in the world, and fucking be patient. It's not that hard. That's literally the formula. And if you can't be that, then you're not allocated correctly, most likely. So you should figure that shit out. Hey, thanks for all the videos you make. Can you please look at GMIA? It's an e-commerce company in the African market. GMIA. Yeah, sure. Well, what the fuck? Why not? Or is it JMIA? Okay. Let me pull it up. Jumia Technologies. I feel like maybe I've seen this one. Oh, it looks like it's fired off. It is a 760 million. Africa is just such a fucking tough market. I just don't know like when there's going to be a riot and have a bunch of shit torn down. But this is interesting. It seems to have some investment dollars heading into it. I like the fact that there's so much volume under here and under here on the shelf. So it's very supported. It seems like 1250 could be a good number for it to head to. But it also has potentially some bearish divergence building up over here. It doesn't have to yet, but it could, because you got like a higher number on the RSI, slightly lower than that. You could have something where it peaks out up here at the 200 moving average on the weekly time frame, and then it just tops out. So from a technical standpoint, I would focus on that. I am curious what the fundamentals look like on this one. I do think countries like Africa should do better in the future. I just don't know when. I'm trying to figure out the when, because there's just so much leaning towards communism, and it doesn't treat them well. The Chinese are just as much enslavers as anybody. Not good people to work with. So the net income dropped pretty hard here. That kind of bums me out. I love seeing this trend where just like almost every month or every quarter is better, and then all of a sudden you get just a wicked drop. So the forward PE is 2.84, and the current one is negative. I don't know if the company's that bad, though. Let me see. It's just, where's the growth? This is what the problem with a lot of Africa. EPS shows that it's popping, but the revenue just doesn't change. So it is cheap. So here's the thing. If you think Africa is going to do really well, if you live in Africa and you can see that like things are changing and getting better, then I would be a buyer of this. And because it will eventually be more fairly priced as long as things are stable. But I don't know anything about this market, so I can't say much more than that. All right, guys, it is 4:06, so I've been going for a little over an hour. I think I will end up calling it here. I'm still going to try and get back to 3 times a week here soon, but I'm just on 2 right now, and I do appreciate people's patience. I'm going to try and do more, but it's just one of those things where I'm trying to just also be happy and enjoy life, and don't miss all the important moments with my child and my wife and my friends and family. So just trying to find more balance. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for sticking around. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you on a Thursday. Or I'm sorry, Wednesday at 3 p.m. See you guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Well. You know what time it is. Woo! We back, baby. Bitcoins, shitcoins, or NFTs. There's no greater feeling than hitting that sweet. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky. We just buy and get rich. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby. We just buy and get rich. Run it back. We back in the black. We back in the green. Got the team all around me. We rowdy and causing scenes. Where you been? Grab a cup, baby. Come and take a sip. Oh my bad, yo, what's up? Man, you did it by the dip. Oh, that's rough. Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's really gotta suck. Only problem that we got is that we didn't buy enough. Man, I joke. Man, I kid. Know exactly what we did. Now we pull up in the whip. Cause we just hit. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky. We just buy and get rich. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby. We just just buy and get rich. Got my family on the phone, they asking what they should buy. I say a time machine to take you back to when I was trying to get you buying on the low, instead you trying to buy high. I guess it's time for me to sell this shit and wave it goodbye. Like sayonara, I don't wanna be stuck there with the bag. Don't be mad, I'm just saying I'm taking some of the cash that we stacked up, baby, cause we out of here. As we blast up straight into the stratosphere, right through the old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky, we just buy and get rich. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby, we just buy and get rich. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky, we just buy and get rich. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby, we just buy and get rich.